Some shears can't be fixed. All you can do is improve them. These are these little shears you saw in a previous video that were sharpened incorrectly. Too much of the black came off. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to improve them, but I can't make them perfect. So let's take these little bad babies apart. And this is why it's good to have several different UFO tools. Neither one of these will fit. That's the German one. This one, this is too wide. That's too narrow. That one's just right. So I'm putting it in the holes. And let's see what's going on with this screw. Because first of all, you can't do anything fixing something with a bad screw. So let's see if I can get this thing out of here. It's really super loose. Oh, well, there's one of our problems. There's no, what I call, internal clicker plate underneath it. It's just a plain washer. So I don't know if the last sharpener lost it or put it in on the wrong side. Well, let's take it apart and see what's going on. Sometimes you'll see washers in between the blades, but I'm not seeing that this time. But let's take, I'm going to have to find the part that fits in here. And let's see, you never know, maybe it's back here. He might have put that piece back here. Nope, there's no washer back there. So let's assume this washer fits on this side. Yep, it does. And I'm going to address that rod line in here. I'm not going to go any further until I can find the right size clicker plate to go with that screw. Now these are my two most common sizes for these small shears like this. And if you notice, they have like a little nipple that sticks up. And I've got to make sure that the nipple or noses stick up. Let's see. And usually if one fits, the other one will fit on these. Let's see if this is the right size. Yeah. So that one works. Just for the fun of it, let's see if this round one works too. Yeah, either one of those will fit in here. So I know when I finish sharpening, I can put these back together and they should hold their adjustment. And this is the tool I need. I'll put that in my cup as well. First job is to clean them. Move some things out of the way here. And I'm feeling the angle on them. I think the last person really made them too sharp for what they were intended to do, and they have a lot of nicks on them. These are probably not the quality that would hold a really, really sharp, razor sharp edge. And if you look in here, you can see a lot of, it wasn't sharpened with anything, with any kind of a fine, coarse, a fine grit. It's some kind of a coarse grit and a very, very severe angle. Just for the fun of it, we'll do a scratch test and see what the angle is on them. I don't think I'm going to stay with that angle. I probably will go with a 35, maybe a 40-degree angle. Maybe 40. Normally it might be 35 on these, but if the angle on it is pretty high, pretty steep, I might go ahead and, oh, my stone needs cleaning up, doesn't it? Make it clean. Throw a stone out of here. And I flattened my stone fairly recently, so this is just swarf that I'm needing to get up off of my stone. It's a 2000 grit stone, which is currently my favorite. If you sharpen any length of time, you'll have certain favorite stones that might vary with with your mood. It almost gets to a point where you feel a slickness and you know you've got your ride line, and that felt pretty flat. I like the way it felt when I was rubbing up and down, and that looks good. Pressure's here, and as always, nothing's changed from my usual method of sharpening. And you see I still have red right in here. I'm going to do it a little bit more. Pressure here, maybe a little bit more there, just to making sure it's touching. I'm still not getting that area right here. There may be an alignment issue there. Take off a little bit more up here. I'm removing a little bit extra metal right underneath the pivot. And that's got it, I believe. Make sure. Light. Yes, it's good. So I move my stone over. Let's go to my machine. So I said I was going to do a scratch test on these. Let's see. Let's put this at 45. That's what I'm guessing they did it at. And normally I would do a flat plate, but I'm going to do a cushion plate because I might need to roll that edge, a little bit of convex over what they have. I'm sorry about my squeaky chair. If it annoys you, it annoys me, but it's comfortable. This is one of those backless stools. It's supposed to be good for your back. See what's going on here. That looks like it's, well, here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing some of the red coming off the back and some of the red coming off the edge, which tells me this was sharpened not with a flat hone but with some kind of a rounded disc. Maybe a twice as sharp, maybe something a lot coarser than that, bench grinder. And 45 was actually the angle they had it set at, but there's still a red line down the middle. I'm going to drop this down to 40 and kind of roll it to that, from the 45 to the 40. So it's a gradual, but I do not want to go further back than where they removed the metal or removed the black color. So, but I'll do a slight rocking, but not by much. So I just barely lift it up. And the burr should come up pretty fast. Just because I'm changing the angle on it. And that looks pretty good. Just slight lifting, just ever so slightly. And I'm doing a little bit of pressure at the tip, a little bit back here, so I can get that whole blade on here. Just like curves to the blade, you know, the belly, the radius. And I have a burr all the way down. That may be sufficient. Let's just see what's going on here. Back to my stone. And just pulling off the burr. Feel still burr right there at the tip. That's gone. Double check it. Yep. Now, because I might have pushed some burr on the outside, I'm going to go over this with my nail buffer. Remember to use the smooth side. Don't go to the other side like I just did. And then last on the inside. And all that's going to do is take off any residual burr you might have left and pushed over. But I'm not polishing these. They're not at that quality of shear, and it's at this point it's improve them, but I can't grow metal back. I can't put the black back on. All the nicks are gone. That might be a bad practice to feel it with your fingernail like you're seeing me feeling for the nicks to be gone. Has not been a good life for my fingernails, but and I see in the light, I don't know if you can see it there, but I can see in the light like there's a little burr right there. Nail buffer. Usually this will catch on your microfiber cloth or cotton ball or Q-tip or whatever. Okay, so those feel pretty good. Let's put them back together. Grab my tools, and I left my UFO tool inside the cup. And I have one clicker plate more than I need. So I'll just better move that, or I'll wonder and think I left it out of a shear further on down the road. So it's going up. Okay, so the best way to put shears together is from the bottom up. So I start with the stem, put the washer on that, make sure the cup side goes down so it stays in the right shape. Square peg goes in the round hole here. That goes next. Now my little internal clicker plate that was left out. And I can charge my customer an extra $5 for that clicker plate, or not. It just it depends. This is actually a wholesale customer, so I usually keep up with any additional parts I put in the shears, since he's not paying the full retail amount on sharpening. But I make money and he makes money. Having a little difficulty getting that screw to turn. Might need 2 washers in there. But I'd like to be able to do it with this one. Yeah, I might need another washer in here. Because, you see, the problem is that post, the center post, is going beyond where I can reach this. Let's see, I might have another tool. Let's try this one. Nope, of course the wrong size. Let's try this one. As I said, I have a lot of UFO tools. This one might work. See, that has a little bit extra space in there. Nope, I'm going to have to put another washer in here. Another washer. And this may have been what the problem was with the last sharpener. He lost that piece, and maybe they fell apart on the hairstylist. So I'm going to put another washer in here. And another thing that indicates I might need another washer, can you see how that, do you see how that peg goes down below the surface there? So that would have been indication earlier on that I might need an extra washer. A lot of shears from the factory come with 2 washers. It's not an uncommon thing to see 2 washers. Some factories just buy, that's just their standard way of doing it with 2 washers. So let me hunt for another washer. It doesn't matter what washers you probably have the wrong size. And even for me, where I have, I can go back there on the shelf and get whatever washers I need. It's probably out of whatever you need, whatever size it's supposed to be. Let's see if this size will fit. Okay, that goes over the peg. Maybe that'll be just the right amount of space. Yeah, that looks better there. Looks better there. And goes on here. And you notice how I'm doing all this without closing the shear. Now some people put them together with them closed. That's, you know, if that's your best way of doing it, if that works for you, that's fine. What you don't want to do, you do not want to put them together with them half open and half closed. That's when you get in trouble. Because the blades will wiggle, hit against each other, and before you know it, they are nicked. And then you got to start all over sharpening. Yeah, this one's going to work, I can tell. And you'll feel it clicking. You'll feel it clicking in there. So let me get my tissue. And I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it dry. I don't like the way that tip was doing. Look at that. But I might not have the right adjustment. Give it a good wiggle. Sometimes these skinnier blades, you need to adjust them tighter than you should other shears. I find the little skinny blades work better when they're adjusted all the way up. So let's try it now. It looks like we're going to have a problem with the tip. Let's try it wet. Nope. 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 Try the nail buffer first. Definitely going to have to smooth off that tip. Where's our wet spot? Let's get another one. Another little wet area. Good, except for the tip. See that tip? So what's going on with it? Looks like it's bent a little bit. This one looks, when I look back and forth, I can see it doesn't have quite the curvature the other one does. Now these look forged, and I could probably bend them, but I'd be a little afraid to without asking my customer. So, since I'm a little afraid to bend them without asking, I'm instead going to go to a flat plate, and this is the blade that looks bent. I don't like the way it looks. My clamp is set at 40. I'm going to drop it down to, oh, let's don't go all the way to 35. I don't know, let's go to 35, because these are pretty bad. 35. And the one blade that looks like it's a little suspect, I'm going to go over it again. With a tension at the tip. You see how, normally I don't pull it out so much, but this time I am, because I want to make sure that tip and I'm not getting a good burr at the tip, and it's heating up fast. I'm going to tilt it down a little bit more. Don't overdo it, because it'll burn up. These little teeny tiny blades will do that. So this is a paper towel. Still having an issue with that tip. And the customer's not here, so I don't want to bend it without permission. And that's too much to shorten it. Well, let's try doing the other blade at 35. I said, you know, originally I said that that's what I would have done, is at 35. When in doubt, go down in your angle, and also go a little coarser. So I've got a burr. Oh, look at there. I think that's going to cut. These just were not designed to have that 45-degree angle. Yep, they're doing fine. Look at that. Now, they're not going to be able to slide cut, but they probably didn't when they were brand new. But, yeah, that tip is fine. Now, it's really sharp, so I want to round that off. Always feel for that tip, because you don't want them to scratch themselves. Okay, so oil it, and I'm ready to go. And these weren't made perfect, but I think they're going to make the customer very happy. Sometimes you have to do the best you can with what you've got. Sometimes we can make them come out perfect. Sometimes we can't. But if you want to know more about sharpening, make sure that you go to my YouTube and subscribe, because I have a lot of videos there and I'll be putting more out. Also, I suggest you go to the Facebook page or Facebook group, Sharpeners. There's a Sharpeners Jam page, and then there's a Sharpeners Jam group. And there's a lot of videos on that group that you may want to see. So, thanks for watching. And put comments below anything that you'd like to see me cover as far as sharpening. But I was glad this came in today. How about you? So it's a little bit of a corrective sharpening that we just get it as good as you can. One thing I want to show you. Let me find it up here. Yeah, this is a shear, and I like to show this one. In fact, I keep it as part of my show and tell. I'll wipe it off here because it's been in my box. I have a whole box of, let me show you what I've got up there. You see my whole box of shears up here, and I use that when I do training. And this one I keep out of the box because I like to explain that when you have a shear that have the collars on them, you want to do just a little small little bevel. Because they bought them because they're pretty. They didn't buy them because they cut better. They may think that's why they bought them, but they bought them because they're pretty. So now this one was sharpened by a competitor sharpener here in the Atlanta area. Don't know who it was, but it was a pair of our shears. And can you see how much of the blue he took off? These are discontinued. We don't carry these shears right now, but you see how much of the blue he took off? So the hairstylist called us up. Oh, the sharpener, he run my shears. So I sent Jay out there. That was when he was working for us. And Jay says, I can't put the blue back on, you know, but they cut beautiful. They really cut nice. But she was not happy, would never let that other sharpener back in. Of course, Jay got the business. And still sharpens there, I think. And so the moral of the story is you don't want to take the color off when you sharpen these shears, even if you have to err on the side of making them less sharp than what you think they should be. You can always go back and take more color off and take more metal off, but you can't put the color back on. So that's the story of it. And I do want to mention that even in the right now, Georgia has been 1 month out of lockdown, and the COVID has, they say, it's plateaued off. But I do want to mention that Jay is still able to go inside the salons and sharpen. He has to make an appointment, call on the phone. They meet him at the door, take his temperature. He has to wear a face mask, hand sanitizer, gloves, all of that, and goes in. But they set him up in the back room to sharpen, and he's there by himself. So you can sharpen if you're an in-salon sharpener or thinking of becoming an in-salon sharpener. The pandemic does, that's hard to say fast. Anyway, this thing the world's going through right now with this virus, our sharpeners are, maybe the business isn't up to what it was before, but they're not doing bad. Just keep that in mind, that you can continue doing this. And hair salons are like, I just talked to a couple of stylists today, and they said they are slammed. So the ones that are opening up, and there's still others to open up. So it's a great business. So thank you, and enjoy sharpening.